If you have a PC at home, you can imagine that only one person can use it at a time. That is nothing but a single user system. It was used by small and medium-sized offices or companies to provide centralized storage, information, entertainment and news. We are using computers for entertainment, that is audio and video are carried out simultaneously. Dear students, welcome to Computer Science classes. I am Ravi Kumar KR, lecturer in Computer Science, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. Students, let us start our discussion with classification of computers. Now, in our previous session, we have discussed about classification and which was based on principle of working or operation. Now, in this session, we are going to talk about classification based on configuration. Now, based on the configuration or performance, size, cost, capacity, we have following types of computer system. One is microcomputers, mini computers, mainframe computers, and supercomputers. These are the four types of computers or classification based on the performance, size, cost and capacity. That is nothing but configuration. Now let us see what is microcomputers. Microcomputers is also called as personal computer or PCs. It was introduced in 1970s. And what you can see, look at the picture of this, and what we are using today, PCs or desktop computers, or belongs to microcomputers, or their example for microcomputers. And you know what is the capacity of that. Now if you observe the size of the computer is very small, and the number of processors in microcomputers will be one or two processors. So now you know what is a processor, and we have seen in our previous session that is the main electronic component of present-day computer is a microprocessor. So now we are using computers, and it will be having generally one microprocessor, and you know what is the capacity of this, or what is the capability of that computer. So present-day computer, microcomputer will be having one or two microprocessors, and it contains input devices. Now you know what input device we are using in a computer, maybe a keyboard, mouse, joystick, and output devices, printer, as well as monitors. Storage devices means memory. If you talk about computer memory, primary memory as well as secondary memory, different types of memory devices. And it is used by one person at a time, means it is nothing but a single user system. If you have a PC at home, you can imagine that only one person can use this at a time. That is nothing but a single user system. And example for this, present day PC means personal computer, and Apple Macintosh means Mac version of computer. Desktop computers and portable computers, handheld computers, these are all called as microcomputers. And the PC used in the office, small office, homes, in business and engineering applications, or microcomputer. So this is classification based on the capacity or performance or configuration. This is microcomputers. Now let us move on to next slide. So next one is mini computers. What are mini computers? Now you can see the diagram of the picture of the computers, and these mini computers were introduced in 1960s, and they were very large in size and more powerful as computers compared to PCs, and it can execute 5 million of instructions per second, and it generally consists of 2 or more processors. So if in microcomputers, they'll be having 1 or 2 microprocessor, and if you in this many computers, it may have 2 or more microprocessor. Now you can imagine the capacity or performance of mini computers, and generally it will be size is larger as compared to microcomputers. and it is going to process or execute millions, 5 millions of instructions per second. And it consists of 2 or more processors, can serve up to 4,000 connected users simultaneously. Now you can imagine the capacity of this mini computers. Microcomputer, what we have seen in our previous slide, see it was a single user system. Only one person can use the system at a time, but it used to support 4,000 connected users. So you can imagine 4,000 users can use this computer simultaneously. Now just assume the capacity and the capability of this computer. Next one is for this VAX 8800, AS 4000 or 400 are examples of mini computers, and it was used by small and medium sized offices or companies to provide centralized storage information. So, I mean, they were using it as a centralized devices to work with to store data and information. So, this is mini computers. Now, next one is mainframe computers. Mainframe computers, they were introduced in 1975. And a mainframe computer is a very large computer in size. If you talk about mainframe computer, say it used to again occupy a room space, and they used to set up this type of computer in one room, and the users, they used to work sitting around the setup or a computer, they used to work with the computer. That was the setup of mainframe computer, very large in size, and is a more powerful than mini computers, and it consists of multiple processors. Now we can imagine that if they suppose if they have around 10 processor in computer system, you can imagine the capacity of that particular computer. And previous version, the microcomputer is one processor, and mini computers two or more, and this is still more number of multiple processors to work with computers, and it is designed to perform multiple tasks for multiple users at the same time. This was the multiple task and multiple users, and it used to support number of users as well as multitasking capacity, or all the users can work with multiple tasks. That is the concept of, that is the capacity of mainframe computers. Next classification is supercomputers. So it was introduced in 1980s. So supercomputer is, as and today, is the fastest computer. So this it is a standard. So this is the fastest computer is the supercomputer. So it is the biggest in size and more expensive in price as compared to previous two versions. So this is more expensive and again very large in size. And Tata's E.K.A. and Param and Yuva KXP. These are all the names of different supercomputer in the world. So this is supercomputer, as and today this is the ultimate computer system. This is supercomputers. Next we see what are the uses of supercomputers. Now here one is we are using supercomputers in weather forecasting and animated graphic like Hollywood movies. You might have heard that different types of graphics in movie, they may use these supercomputers for that particular application. Fluid dynamic calculations, nuclear energy research in the field of science and technology, in the field of space, that is again weapon and missile design for defense and for petroleum exploration, etc. These are the very good applications of supercomputers. Now let us move on to the next slide. Now let us see in general what are all the applications of computers. It is not about supercomputers. In general, the different applications of computers. So here, first one is schools and colleges. Nowadays, we are familiar with the computer system, schools and colleges. So we are using in schools and colleges for education and for different types of office work. And also in banks, nowadays you know that all banks are computerized banking. So everything, all activities, transaction takes place through computers or computer operators. So that is the meaning of as banks. That is the applications of computers in a bank. Everything is in the form in computers. And if you talk about, if you take an example of banks, before computers, you might have seen, heard about that all the records they used to store it on paper in the form of ledgers. Nowadays, everything is in the form of computers, or it is a computerized bank. Next, applications in offices. If you talk about we are using computers in small as well as very large organizations for documentation. Documentation is nothing but drafting letters, applications, so many things, and also for different transaction events carried out at every day. I mean, we are using computers for day-to-day activities in small offices or organizations. And stock exchange, it is stock exchange to check the stock exchange globally, and transaction of the sell and buying of stocks can be done through computers. Nowadays, sharing, trading, you know what is shares? Shares and trading, all these are happening through computers. It is one of the important application of computer system. Next one is research and development, we say R&D, and we are using this computers in the field of research and development, in the field of science and technologies. And again, entertainment and news, we are using computers for entertainment, that is audio and video are carried out simultaneously. And example, again, news are telecasted live and immediately. This is an application of computer system in the field of media. Next one is government offices. Normally, nowadays, in everywhere we are using computers. Even in government offices also, we are using computers for day-to-day activities. Next one is in satellite communication. Obviously, you might have heard that this have led to the growth of information technologies, IT. So we are using computers even to control the satellite. You might have heard all those things. All these will take place through computer system. That is one of the applications of computers. Next one is in usage is nothing but browsing, surfing, chatting, and internet, everything. These nowadays you are familiar with all these activities. So this is also one of the applications of computer with respect to social media. Next one is publishing. What is publishing? It's a process of making works available to the public. This is nothing but books, magazines, newspaper, everything. So nowadays we are using computer. Now if you might have heard that nowadays all the newspapers, all news, all magazines, everything, they are using computers. So I mean, even computers are also using nowadays in publishing in the form of to process the making works available for the public in the form of magazines, books, and newspaper, and so on. This is the application of computers in publishing. Next application in the form of travel. Nowadays, you might have heard about mapping. Now that is nothing but your navigation system. Nowadays, wherever we go, we used to on a map in our mobile system or computer system or in any vehicle. That is another application of computer system. Next, this is computer aided manufacturing, or we say CAD/CAM. So this is nothing but we are using computers in the field of manufacturing or automobile industry. If I talk about that, we are using computers in different applications of different types of industries. One is fabrication and assembly, means this is in automobile applications, in oil drilling, power generation, as well as food production and automobile manufacturing. So these are all different types of application in the field of manufacturing or fabrication or in the field of automobile industry. So these are all different applications of computers. Students, now we will continue our discussion in the next session with the unit 2. Thank you very much.